another odd statistic for the youngest driver never be attacked by Lewis Hamilton. The oldest driver to enter a race could but won't be Hamilton. Louis Chiron holds that record at the age of 58 years, 277 days. The record unlocked.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. One two one two 1 2 1 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are here tonight for the second round of the Formula 1 League here for Season 6 on the EA Sports F1 game here at Motive on our new F1 23 games. We're coming into the final corner, getting ready to come out onto the start-finish straight, lining up on the grid and getting ready to go for another race here. Obviously, we've only got 13 drivers on track here tonight. Unfortunately, because it's still the summertime, a lot of people on holiday. I think almost 10 drivers, 10 regular drivers confirmed they couldn't make it tonight. 10 people who had signed up to the championship said that they couldn't make it tonight. So yeah, I mean, maybe they should be figuring out what they're doing. But nonetheless, we've got 13 legends out on track here tonight. We've got our reigning champion Gertjan as a reserve this season, obviously not a regular driver. He's lining up on pole position. He'll have Dino alongside him on the front row. A. Thompson will line up third, ahead of Papa Squanch, who'll line up alongside him on the second row. Should be an interesting race here. We've got all of the top 8 drivers on the medium tyres, and we've got Little Greavy, Freddie on the softs, Little Greavy on the hards, and everybody else below them. Apart from Eggman is on the mediums, we've got Andrew Pittsmith and the Grieve on the... Oh, has there been a bit of a shake-off in the order? No, it hasn't. Okay, here we go. Lights coming on now. We're at the head of the grid. We're about to go racing here at Jeddah. Moments away from the start now, and it is lights out, and away we go. And we're watching the back of the grid for some reason. I'm not sure why. We want us to be seeing the front. There we go. So we've got Dino down the inside of Gertjan. Has he got the jump here? Yeah, side by side. I think Dino's got that much job done there. As we see it, Mercedes is wide there in the background, and also we've got V10 Ultra there, who seems to have lost a few places here. He's dropped down to near the back of the pack. In fact, he is at the back of the pack now. We've got caution here through the first few corners. So V10 Ultra having a bit of a horror show moment there as he's trying to go back down the inside of Andrew Pittsmith there. We've got Matty Pitt making a move on Tezza Mazda. Tezza Mazda lost a place here to Freddie as well, so Tezza Mazda down a couple of places here on his opening lap, making his return here to Motive. His first time racing in quite a long time here, as V10 Ultra has even passed. I know he's managed to get the move done on Andrew Pittsmith there, but it's Dino leading the race, having got the jump there on Gertjan into turn 1. You got A. Thompson there, just ahead of Papa Squanch, Matty Pitt ahead of you, Freddie followed by Tezza Mazda. You've got the Mutts Nuts followed by Little Greavy, with the Grieve, his brother, there on the back of him right now. V10 Ultra has got Andrew Pittsmith hassling the back of him with Eggman at the back of the pack right now. But Dino did a great job getting the jump off of the line, getting the perfect start, and has now got the ascendancy over our reigning champion here. Gertjan said in the Discord server earlier on that we shouldn't expect a good performance from him tonight because he's actually been playing ACC all day, so he hasn't really, his muscle memory is all messed up. As V10 Ultra's managed to make the move there on the Grieve up into 10th place, so into the points playing position goes V10 Ultra. But yeah, Gertjan said don't expect too much from him tonight, but he's down the inside here into the final corner, and obviously there's no tactical sort of noose to staying behind through that final corner anymore, because obviously on the first lap there's no DRS, so you can basically go for that move and not have to worry about the consequences. So Gertjan there up into P1 at the end of the second lap, and he's done the fastest lap of the race so far, as well as Freddie is going around the outside of Matty Pitt into turn 1 and has got that one done up into 5th place. The rest of them all staying as they are. Andrew Pittsmith is coming in for a very early pit stop here, so potentially damage. His front wing's intact. Oh, Gertjan's out of the race! The reigning champion of the Formula 1 League here at Motive has crashed out. We just caught him as he was going into the barriers, turned in too early, going into turn 3 at the end of that little straight. And Gertjan has absolutely written off that Red Bull, and we are down to 12 drivers in the early stages of the race. Is it a safety car? It doesn't look like it, despite that being, it's a VSC. Despite that being about the most stonewall safety car you could ever have. For some reason, the F1 23 game has decided that is worthy of a virtual safety car. So I hope that the marshals have drank their coffee today, because if they haven't, they won't be able to get themselves out of harm's way. But it looks like they have managed to get that car out of the way. So superhuman effort there from the marshals. A car with no wheel and that's been completely battered was apparently quite easy to remove off the track in about 30 seconds. So well done to the marshals, congratulations to the guys at Jeddah. What are you feeding them? Honestly, that's incredible. But nonetheless, Dino and A. Thompson now P1 and 2. A. Thompson trying to put the pressure on our race leader at this point. You've got Papa Squanch also not too far away on the back of these guys, so he'll be looking to try and chase them as much as he can. We've got side by side here into the final corner as A. Thompson's looking to make a move here. DRS will not be available until the next lap, so he can still make that move, and he wouldn't get DRS from Dino in return. But coming down the start finish straight, they're side by side here over the line. DRS enabled, not this time by, it'll be on the next time by, but A. Thompson there down the inside, getting the move done on Dino up into the lead. So A. Thompson on his return here to Motive tonight, driving an absolute cracker of a race so far. Papa Squanch still just behind these guys in third place. YouTube Freddy has got Matty Pitt hassling the back of him at the moment as well. The Mutts Nuts is still quite close on the back of Tezamaza at this stage. And you've got Eggman, who's not too far off at the back of Little Creevy either. There's V10 Ultra into the pits here at the end of lap 2, and off and away he goes once again. But what a chaotic start to the race with our reigning champion, the man who we all expecting big things from here tonight, Guryan, crashing out of the race on lap 2. A total driver error, no encouragement, no real pressure on him at that point. It was a complete and utter mistake there from him. And maybe we're seeing what he was saying earlier on about him being on ACC all day. Maybe that's now starting to rear his ugly head. Obviously, at the qualifying pace, that's the raw pace still, but his head's not in it maybe. But whatever the case, Gertian out of the race in the early stages, and it's a shame to see, because on a reserve appearance tonight, obviously seeing him jumping in as a late standing, we're hoping that we might see the reigning champ put in an absolute spectacular performance. Obviously last season we saw Joram race in the league, and I don't think he ever lost a race. I don't think he ever failed to win a Grand Prix. Oh no, wait, I think he might have done actually. Was it? Did he get beaten by Papa Squanch? No, he didn't, did he? I think him and Papa Squanch had an incredible battle, but I think he actually beat him in that one. Unless I'm very much mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I can't remember. Honestly, I can remember them having a battle, but I can't remember who won. But in the meantime, Mutts Nuts moves ahead of Tezamaza up into P5, and the Grieve has moved ahead of Matty Pitt. That's because Matty Pitt's in the pits. That'll explain that one. So Matty Pitt coming in for an early pit stop here. Imagine putting the hard tyres on and trying to go to the end. That would make the most sense. But yeah, still early stages here at Jeddah tonight. We've got a battle for the lead between A. Thompson, Dino and Papa Squanch. And yeah, been a chaotic one so far. Let's put it that way. But it has been an interesting one, for sure. Mutts Nuts still on the back of Tez and Muzzer at this point. You can see only 0.3 of a second between those two at the moment, so he's still continuing to pile that pressure on as much as he can. Little Greavy also on the back of Eggman in that battle for P7. Got to stick with this battle for the lead though, because it's really heating up, and the slightest little mistake around this Jeddah Corniche circuit and yeah, that's it. It could be race over. We saw with Gertian on a second lap of the race, so you know, going 25 laps in this race is no mean feat. And Dino's pulling up closer onto the back of A. Thompson, and this time around we'll have DRS available. He's tucking in for the time being because he knows that he wants that DRS. Mutts Nuts in the meantime has made the move on Tez and Muzzer up into P5, so that's a nice move there on the Mutts Nuts. Well, I assume it was, I didn't see it, but we've got A. Thompson and Dino here coming down the start finish straight. What can Dino get done here as we come down towards turn 1? DRS wide open, but it's a little bit too late for him. He's not going to get there in time. A. Thompson for the time being holding on from Dino. Papa Squanch in the background with the YouTube Freddy and the Mutts Nuts there, still staying ahead of Tez and Muzzer, having got that move done on the previous lap. You've got a Little Greavy having a look to the inside of Eggman into turn 1, but too far back just at the moment. The Grieve is coming into the pits here for yet another pit stop, I think it is. Andrew Pitsman staying out, so obviously the damage really playing a big factor here at Motive. We like to keep it authentic, we like it to be realistic, and in the F1 League it is full damage. So you know, there is no hiding, there's no coming back from it. If you make a mistake, then you're in the barriers. That's your race done and dusted. So yeah, there's no forgiveness. But currently Dino on the back of Papa Squanch here in this battle for second place. You can see that these two lost a bit of time actually. In fact, Dino's lost out here to Papa Squanch. Papa Squanch is up into second place. I'm not sure where Dino made that mistake, but that has given Papa Squanch obviously P2, and it's also dropped them both off of A. Thompson, so that's going to give A. Thompson just a little bit of breathing room. He can breathe a sigh of relief and just kind of relax a little bit out the front, but not completely. He needs to kind of keep his eye on the ball, but that will just help him relax himself a little bit here. But that's the battle for second place still going on right now. Gertian's left the session, obviously. I'm surprised he's still here, to be honest. But that's now him done for this race. But yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, I was just reading reading something on the Discord. It's Dino here, down the inside, into turn 1 on Papa Squanch into second place. Beautiful move there from Dino, and Papa Squanch could do absolutely nothing about it there with the Williams there, getting the speed on the straight line with the DRS wide open, and now he can try and chase down A. Thompson out the front, but A. Thompson, with obviously getting this little break at the front, has now can now dictate the pace and can now control the way that things go here. As top 3 put that bit of a gap to Freddie still as well. He's got the Mutsnuts right on the back of him here as well. So Mutsnuts, obviously we heard earlier on, he's aiming for another podium here. He's aiming to get himself in the top 3 as much as possible this season. We can see him all over the back of YouTube Freddie. Obviously the Mutsnuts is a veteran here at Motive. He knows the score, he knows how to get results. Just the Mutsnuts is a consistent performer, not just on F1 but also on Project Cars 2 as well. Consistent podium finisher, top 5 kind of merchant, you know what I mean? He's just always up there or thereabouts. Although he's not always in the hunt for the win, you can always bank on him to score good points. But right now he's right on the back of Freddie here with some DRS. Is he going to be able to get there in time, as we just looking to the inside, but just a little bit too far behind at the moment then. But Freddie did a good job here of weathering the storm, but Freddie obviously on those soft tyres, Mutsnuts on those mediums, so Freddie really should be putting away from him, but obviously the Mutsnuts go on break. Oh no, there's a contact there between them. Oh, and the front wing goes flying there. Mutsnuts now got DRS, and Tezza Mutsnuts is going to come through to mug the Mutsnuts down the inside into the final corner. Mutsnuts has got no front wing, and he's going to need to come into the pits now. Luckily, he was coming towards the end of the lap, and he will be able to get some new tyres on the car, some new hard tyres, and it's not going to be too much harm done there for him. So luckily for the Mutsnuts, his race has not been completely ballsed up, because he was right at the end of the lap. There's only one corner left to go. When he got that damage, he just had to bring it through the corner and put his fresh tyres on. He's also at a point in the race where he can put the hards on and go to the end easily. So Mutsnuts, it could have been a disaster there for him, but in the end it's not too much of a disaster. He'll lose about 5 seconds putting the front wing on, but all in all, he's still in this race and could still be in with a shout of a podium place. Who knows what might happen over the course of this race. But Tezza Mutsnuts right on the back of Freddie here. Look to the outside. He had briefly got ahead of him, I think, but then couldn't complete the move. But he's round the outside, is Tezza Mutsnuts, and he completes the move now. Up into 4th place he goes. So a great move there from Tezza Mutsnuts, as YouTube Freddie there couldn't do anything about it on his soft tyres there. Still couldn't make it, still couldn't hold on to that position. But Papa Squanch here on the back of Dino at this point. You can see there he's getting a bit of DRS. He's going to get a little bit closer here to the back of Dino, but I think Dino should be able to keep onto it here. Yes, he does. But Freddie's still on the back of Tezza Mutsnuts right now, just under a second between them. I think Tezza Mutsnuts are now going to start to pull away as Papa Squanch has done Dino. So he's made the move on him going into the final corner, but has Dino made that a little bit easier for him, knowing perfectly well that he'll get the DRS coming down the start-finish straight. Let's have a look and see. As here they come. DRS now open for the Williams of Dino. It's going to look to the outside here. Papa Squanch is going to send him around the long way here. Papa Squanch squeezing him to the edge of the track, not giving him any space around the outside, or giving him minimal space. Oh, and there's contact there, and Dino pushed him out of the way a little bit there. I have to say, I think Dino will be getting a penalty for that one. That was aggressive and unnecessary there. He could have given him more than enough space there around the outside, and Papa Squanch, I think, is going to be absolutely fuming with that one. So Dino up into 2nd place. But that's a bit of a shame how that one happened, if I'm honest with you. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the stewards take a very dim view on that one. Papa Squanch down to P5. Few seconds off for the back of Dino at this point. Is he still going to be in a fight with the podium places, with Tezza Mutsnuts now occupying that 3rd spot? It could also bring the Mutsnuts into play, who will also be getting the laps down. Obviously with his fresh hard tyres on, he should have the pace at this point in the race. He should have the pace, or at least similar pace to the medium runners. I think probably slightly quicker, I'd say, because on the whole the hards are about 4/10 a lap slower than the mediums, but if you've but you lose about 1/10 of a second per lap that you do on each tyres due to tyre wear. So I imagine the Mutsnuts' pace should, I think on paper, be slightly quicker than the guys on the mediums who started on the mediums, but it's going to be a close call. It's not going to be much really between them. But obviously the Mutsnuts in clean air as well. Although saying that, he is behind V10 Ultra and he'd need to clear him as quickly as he possibly can here. A. Thompson in the meantime is disconnected, which could be disastrous here for him, because he's leading the race. He needs to get himself back in as soon as he possibly can. Andrew Pittsmith is coming to the end of the pit lane now, as back out onto the track he goes, but A. Thompson's AI is in control of the car here, which could be catastrophic here for his chances of winning the race. Surely he's back in now, because he's not losing heaps of time here to Dino. Actually, no, the gap is coming down. It's come down about half a second in the first few corners. So A. Thompson needs to get himself back in the session ASAP here. Otherwise, he's going to lose this race win. As V10 Ultra has done the move on the Mutts Nuts there up into P8. So, or he's kept ahead of him, should I say. But now Mutts Nuts has got the DRS here down the start-finish straight. Obviously, hard tyres for the Mutts Nuts, but they're fresh hard tyres. And that DRS is not really doing anything for him there, is it, at all? It's hardly making any difference at the moment, but has to tuck in for the time being. Mutts Nuts has got to wait just a little bit longer here in his fight for 8th place, but a long way to go in this race. And obviously V10 Ultra, should have a better pace on those soft tyres. They just need to work together here, but obviously they're not in the same battle here, because Mutts Nuts can go to the end from where he is. V10 Ultra has to come into the pits and do another pit stop, because he's not going to go 22 laps on a set of soft tyres. So really they need to work together here, but V10 Ultra's led off the throttle, I think, has led him past. So that's the Mutts Nuts now into some clean air. No dramas there. Off you go, son. See you later. Have a good race. I'll see you at the checkered flag. And Mutts Nuts says, thank you, appreciate it. I'll see you whenever. But the Mutts Nuts there into 8th place, and the race continues on. A. Thompson is still got his AI in the car. He has not returned. He's not rejoined the session yet. Just going to send him an invite because he might be struggling to get himself back in. So let's just send him an invite. Just to, because I don't know what the situation is, obviously, if he's able to get himself back in. But let's just send him an invite quickly. I do apologise for that little breakup you would have experienced on the stream there. As Papa Squanch, in the meantime, has got ahead of Freddy. That's because Freddy's into the pit. But Papa Squanch here, obviously, I mean, he's gutting what happened with the incident with Dino running in 4th place. He's still only 4 seconds off of a podium place at the moment, and it was A. Thompson. He couldn't rejoin the session. His invite had expired, so thank goodness we did invite him there. He's now got himself back in and he's back at the wheel. Needs to get himself back in control of that car, because otherwise he's going to be passed by Dino. Get yourself back at the wheel, mate. Hurry up. You're still in the lead. You've just got to slend the lead at the moment. You've got it by the skin of your teeth. There he is. He's back in the car. He's back in the car just in the nick of time. Unbelievable scenes. So A. Thompson has just rejoined and has regained control of his car just as Dino was putting up onto the back of him. So he's still got this race by the scruff of the neck. He's hanging on by a thread here. Tez and Muzzer, though, is only 2 seconds off of the lead. So these two are both coming for him at this point. Papa Squanch, there running in 4th place, obviously has been knocked out of that battle for 2nd place due to the collision with Dino. Which, as I said earlier on, the stewards, I reckon, are going to be coming down hard on Dino for that one. But for the time being, he's in 2nd place, and for the time being, he's hassling the back of our race leader, A. Thompson, as they're coming into the final corner here on lap 10, coming towards the end of lap 10. And here we come, back out onto the start-finish straight once again here. As looks like the Williams is pulling into the pit, so Dino making his pit stop. Reasonably ordinary time, I think. Ended up 10, so still 15 laps left to go, but he's going to be boxing now. But yeah, currently Dino there bringing it into the pit lane. And he's putting the hard tyres on, which is no surprise there. He can't get a set of softs to the end, but obviously can't use the mediums again, otherwise he will be disqualified from the race. But A. Thompson now with a 2.5 second lead, so that's now taken Dino out of the equation. But obviously Dino is going to be going for that undercut here with those hard tyres, those fresh hard tyres on. He's going to be looking to blitz it on this particular lap. A. Thompson, I'm sure, is going to have to pit this lap to cover him off, because if he doesn't bring it in this lap, he's going to be vulnerable to Dino. Let's say that at the very least, because I mean, the gap was what, less than a second before Dino came in, so A. Thompson needs to be bringing it in, otherwise he's rolling the dice and playing an unnecessary risk here. Obviously it takes time to warm the tyres up, but he'll be experiencing the same thing whenever he chooses to come in as well. I think all in all, you gain a massive advantage from being on fresh tyres, even if it does take a bit of time to warm them up. Dino though has got traffic here. Little Greavy is right in front of him, which could play a hand in this. If A. Thompson is aware of this, he might just decide to extend on this stint just a little bit longer. But Dino right on the back of Little Greavy at this point. Does A. Thompson come in to cover Dino off? Yes, he does. So, end of lap 11, A. Thompson coming in for a new set of hard tyres. Tazamasa staying out for the time being. Now, I remember this from when Tazamasa used to race in the league, way back in the day. I seem to remember him being a bit of a tyre whisperer, very good at saving the tyres and keeping the tread in them. Also a quick driver as well, but his main attribute was looking after the tyres. I remember this quite well. So Tezamuzza, maybe he's planning on looking after those mediums to a point where he can put the softs on at the end and have more pace. I don't know whether that's his plan. Oh no, what's happened? Dino and Little Greavy are out of the race. Has Dino had an incident with somebody else here? The safety car's out, so that is a full safety car. It's saying VSC, but that is unmistakably there. You can see the safety car on your screen, so that graphic should update itself in a second. Dino out of the race, Little Greavy out of the race, and we are down to just 10 drivers here, and we're not even halfway through this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Obviously, we should expect this kind of thing because we only have 13 drivers start the race. So, and to be honest, this is the kind of circuit where you do tend to get incidents as well. It's not as bad as Baku or Monaco for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure why that is. It just never has been. In my experience commentating on this circuit, it's never been anywhere near as bad as those two. Those two are the worst for retirements and for incidents and just all kinds of carnage. For some reason, Jeddah's not as bad, but generally you do come to expect this kind of thing at street circuits. But we're on a safety car here, nonetheless, here on lap 12 of the race. About halfway, let's call it, at this stage. This could massively benefit those who come into the pits during the safety car period. So Tezza Muzza and Eggman might be able to get, well, Eggman won't, but Tezza Muzza, I think, has just won himself track position. Is he going to come in? He's got to come in now, because if he elects to extend his stint beyond the safety car period, then he will be a sitting duck once he comes in, because everyone's going to be Constantining it up. So he's going to come in and he's going to come out. He's going to have to change his strategy now, I think. I think the plan was initially for him to put the soft tyres on at the end of the stint. Now he's going to have to put the hard tyres on and go to the end of the race. But the crucial thing and the important thing and the massively advantageous thing is that he's going to have the lead of the race when the safety car peels in. A. Thompson coming down the start finish straight, and oh no, he's not actually. He's not. So he hasn't got track position. I thought he had enough of a gap back to the others to come out ahead of them, but apparently not. So he comes out in third. Wow, okay then. Wow, I thought that he would come out ahead of them, but no. It would appear that the order stayed the same. I thought he had plenty of time in hand to pit and come out ahead, but it hasn't transpired to be that way at all. Maybe it's the thing that EA have put into this F1 23 game to stop races being unfair due to the safety car. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it maybe now. That could potentially be the situation here, but yeah, ultimately it hasn't worked out the way that I thought it would. But yeah, safety car here on lap 13 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at Motive. For season 6 here on the EA Sports F1 game, and yeah, still a long way to go. Ooh. Hello mate. Felix, welcome along. sorry guys, I completely forgot that we were, I said to Felix that he could commentate alongside me here tonight. Obviously some of you may know him as Game for Life. You would have seen him on the track. For those of you watching back, there aren't two people watching at the moment, but for those of you watching back, obviously you all know who Felix is. Felix, have you been watching the race whilst this has been going on? Yeah, it's not going well. From what I've seen in the Discord chat, I think Dino's quite unhappy with somebody. To be fair though, I don't think Dino can say a whole lot, because I did see earlier in the race there was a collision between himself and Papa Squanch, which I would have to say, from my point of view, I don't know whether you saw it yourself, Felix, but for me personally, I think that he was definitely at fault. I don't think Papa Squanch did a whole lot wrong in that little debacle, but there was an incident going into turn 2 where they were side by side, and Dino was trying to go around the outside of Papa Squanch, and the door just kind of closed, and then he punted him around, and I think that the Papa Squanch will be quite annoyed about that one. But that's just one little incident. Obviously, I've seen a few things going in the Discord server, but I haven't really had a chance to look at it properly. I just seen a few comments popping off and thought, oh god, you know, the stewards might be busy at the end of this race. But yeah. Anyway, we've got safety cars coming in this lap, so that's all obviously good. So we're getting ourselves underway ASAP. We've got the top 5 are all on the hard tyres, and obviously Tezamazza with the freshest of those tyres, but a lot of those laps have been under safety car, so it's not really going to make a whole load of difference at this point. And also a couple of laps not going to make any difference anyway. But yeah, he's got the freshest tyres. Him and Eggman have got the freshest tyres. One thing though that's going to be crucial for the medium runners, with the pack all being Constantined up, could we potentially be seeing the Mutts Nuts here as a race winner? Maybe, is it out of the question?
I don't know. Well, we've seen a bit, but it's
Well, we've all seen a bit.
Yeah, they're going to last these 10 laps, but it all depends how the pace is for especially A. Thompson and these the top 3 in total.
Well, in the meantime, Tezamazza's actually made the move around the outside of Freddie, so he's got himself into second place. Yeah. A. Thompson, though, has already said, see you later, boys, I'm off, and he's now already over a second and a half clear of Tezamazza. We've got Papa Squanch now trying to attack on the back of Freddie. Obviously, the safety car has been a bit of a lifeline for his race here in this one, but currently A. Thompson just under 2 seconds out the front. Yep, Mutts Nuts there around the outside of Eggman, up into P5 on those fresh medium tyres. But A. Thompson currently clearing off into the distance here. He's got only 2 seconds, but now that Tezamazza's the car behind him, potentially he could start to eat into that lead a little bit. V10 Ultra still attacking on the back of Eggman at this point. But the medium tyres really starting to pay dividends at this point, Felix. What do you make of the difference in tyres at this stage in the race, coming into this point where the medium's going to go easily go the distance? Do you think that he's on the right strategy here?
Yeah, of course. The mediums and the hards are both going to obviously last these 10 last laps, but the mediums are probably going to win during this first few laps, and in the end hards are going to be faster, but I don't think they're going to be fast enough to gain the positions they need to get the points they want.
I think you're right, and we're seeing that now. The Mutts Nuts there making light work of the cars in front of him. Him and Papa Squanch weren't too far apart in terms of pace earlier on. In fact, I think Papa Squanch moved slightly quicker earlier on in the first stint, but Mutts Nuts making light work of the driver in front of him there, up into 4th place with those fresh medium tyres on. Now he can try and chase down the podium places, and I was saying before at the beginning of this restart, maybe a potential race winner. He's got a long way to go. Also, Tezamazza's closing on A. Thompson, and the Grieve is out of the race. Did you get eyes on that? I didn't see that one.
No, me neither.
Well, we've got a virtual safety car, which I think could potentially be upgraded to a safety car. Let's wait and see if we see that yellow dot in the corner. But what a shame. What a shame there to see. And we're now down to 9 drivers here in this race, which is pretty farcical, to be honest. But we've got obviously a few battles going on, and looks like the virtual safety car's now subsided, which is good, so we're back underway once again. The gap at the front, 1.3 seconds. Tezamazza's bringing his fight to A. Thompson. I'll tell you what, A. Thompson kind of skipped off into the distance on the first lap of the restart, but now Tezamazza's starting to get a bit of steam going here. Mutts Nuts is already attacking on the back of Freddie after dispatching Papa Squanch on the previous lap. He's right on the back of him here as we ride on board with the Alpha Tauri. Now looking to the outside, now ducking back to the inside there. Threw a bit of a dummy there on YouTube Freddie. YouTube Freddie now defending at the inside for the outside for the next corner. Mutts Nuts down the inside, gets the move done into the final corner, but is he going to have DRS, or is Freddie going to be able to get the slingshot here down the straight with that rear wing wide open? Let's have a look. No, because DRS isn't open. DRS, it's not ready. DRS not enabled until lap 3, so shame there for Freddie, and the Mutts Nuts into the podium places. Incredible driving from the Mutts Nuts. He has gone from 6th into Absolutely fantastic driving there
Oh.
from our Scotsman. As we see, Freddie's out of the race. He's DNF'd. What a shame. Oh, what a shame there for Freddie. So now we're down to 8 drivers here in the closing stages of this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This is quite unbelievable. But in the meantime, we've got battles all around. We've got a battle for the lead potentially. Now the Mutts Nuts is bringing himself into this battle as well. Now, one thing that could play its hand, and it won't play its hand until the last couple of laps. Obviously, we know the medium tyres can go 15 laps easy, no problem at all. 15 laps they can do, that's generally their accepted distance that they can go. But I'm talking about that little bit of tyre wear that you might experience maybe after about 10, 12 laps. You start to feel a little bit of a drop-off in your pace, or you start to feel a little bit of drop-off before that. But the medium tyres, because they wear out so much quicker than the hards, could that maybe play into A. Thompson and Tezza Mazza's favour in the last couple of laps maybe?
Tezza Mazza definitely wants that, especially due to his 3-second time penalty, which is going to drop him down to P4.
Indeed, I hadn't noticed that. That's a good point there. So, yeah, he really needs to get on with it at this point. But he'll definitely drop behind the Mutts Nuts, and that'll also peter out his charge a little bit with A. Thompson just 1.6 up the road. But saying that, A. Thompson's extended his gap a little bit over Tezza Mazza on that previous lap. Eggman's got Matty Pitt. Oh, Matty Pitt goes deep into turn 1 and just about avoids Eggman. That was a close call there, and Matty Pitt almost collected him, but he continues on his way, and Matty Pitt's now dropping back into the clutches of Andrew Pittsmith here. What an unfortunate situation there for Matty Pitt, and you can see now Andrew's closing up closer onto him here. Abasconch in the meantime is closing back onto the Mutts Nuts here, so maybe the advantage of the medium tyres now starting to negate itself a little bit. With the durability of the hard tyres potentially starting to come into play a little bit more here. But then again, I wouldn't have thought the mediums would be going off just yet. Eggman still well within a second here of Eton Ultra in this battle for P5 as well. But it looks like A. Thompson's just holding Tezza Mazza at arm's reach at the moment, 1.4 the gap. Staying quite consistent, and Eton Ultra's lost out to Eggman, so Eggman's up into P5. As we just caught the tail end of that move going on there. So nice move there from Eggman. Now up into a top 5 spot. Can he now start to pull away, or is Eton Ultra going to keep the pressure on him all the way to the checkered flag here? Andrew also putting Matty Pitt under tremendous pressure. Sorry, mate.
Eton Ultra overtakes again with the DRS.
Yeah, he's returned the favour brilliantly there as they go into the final corner. But Eggman will get DRS here down the start-finish straight, and he gets a much better exit out of the final corner as well to boot. So here we go. That'll be the rear wing wide open for the McLaren. It's already open. It's a long DRS zone here down the start-finish straight at Jeddah, and he's going to look to the outside. Is he going to be able to make this move? No, he can't. So the straight line speed in the Mercedes, Eton Ultra's got that set up for the top end by the looks of it. And Matty Pitt is in the pits here at the end of lap 18, so that's not got to plan at all for him. Front wing coming off, and no tyres going on the car, so he's able to continue on his way. But yeah, a disappointing race there for Matty Pitt, but with the depleted numbers obviously to start with, and obviously because of the retirements, it means he will score 4 points for his troubles here tonight, so not the end of the world, and potentially some fresh tyres going on the car. That will give him an opportunity to go for the fastest lap if he's got the pace to do so. But Eggman still piling this pressure on the back of Eton Ultra at this point.
If not, so he can get the DRS into the last one.
Yeah, is he waiting it out? Obviously we're not near there yet. Oh, Eggman just cut the corner there, yeah. That was 4 wheels off the track, so he falls foul of the race stewards there for that one, and unfortunately will have 3 seconds added onto his race time. He's still attacking Noah on the back of Eton Ultra. Here he comes, looking to the outside. Is he going to go round the outside into the final corner? He's going to go for a cutback now, as he's going to get it beautifully here. DRS will be open for him as well. That'll give him a little bit of an advantage here. Coming down towards turn 1. Here we go. The McLaren breezes past the Mercedes. Down towards turn 1 we come, but the Mercedes is trying to come back at him here into turn 1, but can't do it, and Eggman gets that move done back up into P5. But with his time penalty, he needs to put out 3 seconds here to V10 Ultra if he's to finish in 5th place. It's a tall order. I don't know whether he can get that done. But anyway, we've got Papa Squanch here, still on the back of the Mutts Nuts as they're battling out over the final podium place. Looks like Mutts Nuts is momentum that he had at the beginning of this restart on those fresh mediums seems to have just gone ever so slightly now. He's now 3.5 seconds off of the race leader A. Thompson. He's not really got the pace to put Teza Mazza under any real pressure here. Teza Mazza's still keeping the gap to A. Thompson quite consistent. So, I mean, A. Thompson probably isn't going to be too worried because he knows about Teza's penalty. But at the same time, he won't want to get passed by him because it will be a point of pride, wouldn't it, to get the win on the track as well as getting it on the classification. So, I don't think he'll be waving him by. But then, I mean, who knows? It's difficult to predict, isn't it? We'll have to just wait and see what they do. But in the meantime, Mutts Nuts has just gained a little bit on Teza coming through that final sector. But saying that, looks like the Aston's got a good run coming out onto the start-finish straight, and the gap's now back at what it was before. No real battles going on at the moment. The race is settling down a little bit. 5 laps left to go here at Jeddah for this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here tonight at Motive for Season 6 here on the PlayStation platform. And still A. Thompson with the lead by just under 2 seconds there from Teza Mazza. There's the Mutts Nuts in third ahead of Papa Squanch. And a big gap back to Eggman, who's running in P5 at the moment. He's a couple of seconds clear of V10 Ultra in P6. Andrew Pittsmith there, P7 at the moment.
Oh, mistake from Mutts Nuts.
Oh, really? What happened?
He went over the curb into the ending of sector 1.
Did he take to the runoff?
No, he went on the second curb.
Oh, okay.
After right-hander.
Because he seems to have recovered quite well. I wondered if he had taken a shortcut.
No.
But yeah, to be fair, he's now over 2 seconds behind Teza Mazza. But Teza Mazza, I'll tell you what, he's closer to the back of A. Thompson here. So it's ebbing and flowing right now. This gap at the front. Could we see a battle for the lead? Obviously, it's not a battle for the win. We already know that. Although it could be if Teza Mazza forces A. Thompson into a mistake. As I said earlier on, although A. Thompson's not going to be waving him by because he wants to finish first on the track, I mean, that could play a factor. He could be forced into a mistake, trying to fight for a position that he doesn't actually need, in a sense. Don't know how this is going to play out, but we're going to find out anyway in a few moments' time here. So stay tuned, guys, because it's going to be a fascinating finish to this race.
I think Teza Mazza might have a bit more ERS than A. Thompson, because A. Thompson is flashing.
Yeah, it looks like they've now got a similar amount, so I wonder if Tez has been using his up a little bit, because A. Thompson's got 14 and Tez has got 10. Mutts Nuts has got a little bit more than 1, so he's got slightly more juice available to him. Papa Scorch with 13. Eggman,
Yeah,
71%.
Oh.
Button, because he's barely used any. So yeah, he probably needs to sort that out. In the meantime, the gap under a second here between A. Thompson and Teza Mazza, so it is nip and tuck here out the front. It's ever so tight. Who's going to prevail here in this one? Teza Mazza obviously has got a penalty, but he'd love to get the move done on the track. And could we see an exciting battle here in the final couple of laps of this race? He's hunting him down. He's now got himself within striking distance here of that Alpha Tauri. Obviously, both of these two making their return to Motive tonight. Experienced drivers on the F1 game here on the PlayStation platform. They're well known amongst the PlayStation community as we see Teza Mazza getting closer and closer to the back of A. Thompson here. Out onto the start-finish straight once again. He'll get the DRS open now, which will get him that extra speed and that extra pace advantage. He's going to home in on the back of him right now as you see him getting closer and closer to the back of him, but it's a little bit too far back there going into turn 1, and A. Thompson for the time being clings onto the lead, but for how much longer? How many more laps is he going to be able to keep him at bay if Teza Mazza keeps up this kind of pressure? Both with similar ERS allotments here, so it's going to be all down to driver skill and precision here around this Jeddah circuit. And is anybody going to make a mistake? It's easy to make a mistake around this track, obviously, and the walls are never too far away. You're always inches away from disaster, so both of them need to keep 100% focus at all times and not allow themselves to get carried away by the moment or feel any pressure here at this point, as Andrew Pittsmith in the meantime is close up onto the back of V10 Ultra in this battle for P6. This could also be one to keep an eye on. Oh, it's V10 Ultra. It's got done for track limits there. We're watching on board Andrew behind him at that moment where he picked it up, and unfortunately for him, he's now going to drop 3 seconds. So this is now an actual battle for position here between these two. This is a genuine battle for P6 because They both have the same number of time penalties. This could be exciting. We've got to go back to the battle for the lead though, because it's currently A. Thompson who's just clinging on by the skin of his teeth here to Tezamaza. He's getting closer and closer again here. DRS once again open for the Aston Martin. He's too far back into this section of the track, but it's down the start-finish straight where he'll really want to make the most of it. Here we go. Now he's going to get that closing speed once again, and he's much closer this time than he was on the previous lap. Now Tezamaza's going to pull out of the slipstream here, looking to the inside. He's going to send one into turn one. They're side by side. He thinks better of it. He's just a little bit too far back to go for the move as A. Thompson holds it around the outside, and Tezamaza for the time being clings on by the skin of his teeth. He really is. Sorry, A. Thompson clinging on by the skin of his teeth. He's really putting out the stops here to keep Tezamaza at bay. And what a great battle this is. Tezamaza trying every trick in the book, trying to make a move if he can, trying to get beautiful final corner. He's gone wide though. He's gone really wide coming through that chicane. That's lost him a bit of time and some momentum there, and he's dropped out of the DRS.
This is also going to help the Matsnap now with the 3-second penalty of Tezamaza.
Yeah, he's not broken that barrier yet, which is going to be frustrating there, and the Matsnaps is going to be looking at that thinking, well, I could fancy an extra position here. That'd be nice, an extra 3 points in the bag. Obviously the Matsnaps free tonight, then it will be 100% podium. So a good run of forward at the moment is the Matsnaps, and obviously if we can get I don't know if we can get him his points from last week. I spoke to him earlier on. He was a bit upset about the fact that he doesn't score points. I mean, to be fair, he hadn't signed himself up as a driver at the time, so I don't even know if it's possible to do. But with the consistency of his points scoring at the moment, I think he's probably going to be the championship leader if he scores points for last week, that is. But I don't know whether he can actually score points if he's eligible or not. I'm not sure what the rules are. Obviously, I don't run the F1 league. It's Matty Pitt and Gertie, and they're the two that do all of that. So it's nothing to do with me. I just commentate. But Tezamaza around the outside here of A. Thompson into turn one. He gets the move done. Great move there from Tezamaza as A. Thompson's trying to get a cut back here, but he's not going to be able to do it. And Tezamaza here has stolen the lead on the final lap of the race. With his penalty, he will not get the race win, but he's got the pride. He's got the kudos there of making a fantastic manoeuvre around the outside of turn one. Had the inside for turn two. A. Thompson didn't fight it too hard, I don't think, because he knows he's going to get the race win no matter what. But Tezamaza, I'll tell you what, it's a shame he's got that penalty, because that would have been a great move. And if that was for the win, that would have been absolutely spectacular.
I've just checked race director, but Tezamaza is definitely going to be praying that A. Thompson goes a bit wide enough for another warning, because that is going to be another 3 seconds for him. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to do any sort of silly business here to try and put A. Thompson off. Obviously, let's hope not, because we don't condone any of that. But let's see what he does here, because if he could be trying to lure A. Thompson into a bit of a mistake, which will give him a gap that he needs. Oh, so that's a bit of a twitch there, but holds it. A final half a lap here. Well, not even half a lap. We're into the final few corners of the final lap of the race. Tezamaza defends the inside. A. Thompson's going to go around the outside here. DRS open once again. He's going to go all the way around the long way here of the final corner of the final lap. And A. Thompson's stolen it back, but it's going to be a track to the line here. Who's going to get it? Tezamaza's alongside him. Oh, it's going to be so close. Who's going to get there? Oh, A. Thompson just holds on, I think. Who was first over the line? I'm not sure. But the Matsnuts gets Tezamaza on the penalty. So it's A. Thompson first, the Matsnuts in second, Tezamaza third. Papa Squanch comes over for fourth place. Eggman up towards the line to take fifth place here in this one, with Andrew Pittsmith holding on from V10 Ultra for P6. Big gap back to Matty Pitt, who came in for some extracurricular pit stops over the course of that race. Not the race that I'm thinking he would have been envisaging before the start of this one, but what a finish between A. Thompson and Tezamaza, and what a shame about Tezamaza's penalty, because I think, well, obviously it's his own fault for cutting the track, but you know, it's still a shame. But that is that then, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this back, especially the top two, or rather the top two over the line, obviously, because Tezamaza drops a place due to his penalty. But fantastic racing from everybody here tonight. And also I want to say a big congratulations to Matsnuts on taking 2 podiums from 2, and is the only driver this season to take 2 podiums from 2 races, and he's the only driver with a 100% podium finishing record so far this season. So well done to him. But A. Thompson, what a return here to Motive Racing. Top step
top spot here in this second round of the season. Hopefully he's here to stay and we can see the rest of the season with him in it. And obviously we hope to have the grid filled out in the coming weeks. There's still the middle of summer at the moment, so there's still a lot of people on holiday and still the numbers aren't where we want them to be. But in the next couple of weeks, maybe start of September, that's when we're hoping it's going to ramp up a bit. So the next couple of weeks might be the same story, but then from September onwards, we should be back to normal service resumed, full grids every single week, full of action and excitingness here for all of you to watch back afterwards. So thanks to everybody once again for turning up, and for those of you who did watch the stream live, I saw Totally Zero popping up in the comments there. Big shout out to you, mate. Appreciate you. Sorry I couldn't read your comments. My head's all over the place and didn't really get a chance to read them, but I saw your name popping up everywhere. So I love the fact that you watch the streams every time, and big ups to you. But thanks everybody once again, and Felix, thank you for joining me in the comments box again to give me a bit of insight there.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join.
Absolutely, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good one.